Yeah.
But either way, fucking amazing season for him.
Going with the Giants, they've confirmed that the GM and Brian Dable will stay for next season.
Yeah, I recommended that.
Yeah, well, you're the GM. They're keeping.
Oh yeah, of course. I recommended they keep me.
I recommended they keep me. Yeah. But the coach there, I mean, this isn't his fault.
No, it's not.
They're a mess regardless of who their head coach is.
I actually do rate him as a head coach.
Give him a gig. Give him another go.
Is whoever let Barkley go still in charge?
The GM, I don't even know how long he's been there, but it's more. It's not like they let him go. He was out of contract, but they fucked him over. They franchise tagged him, which meant the moment they did that, he was going to go at the end of that season.
Well, they could have paid him more though, couldn't they? They had it.
They could have done.
He wouldn't have accepted it.
He wouldn't, right? Because
if they'd have offered him it before they franchise tagged him,
if
they'd actually offered him a decent contract, he may well have stayed.
Yeah,
but as soon as they franchise tagged him, he's gone.
Right on the
end of the season, I'm off.
So explain a franchise tag. That basically means it's an automatic 1-year deal that they can't refuse on the average amount of money.
I think it's I'm trying to remember how it's done, where they calculate the value of that 1-year contract.
I think it's the average of the top three.
So it's not negotiated, is what I mean.
No, it's an independent adjudicator who sets what it is.
And how many franchise tags can a team use each season?
1.
So, okay, that's okay. So,
we may talk about franchise tags in a little bit as well.
Why would a team franchise tag somebody?
Because they might need them for 1 year, but it's unlikely they'll get to this player to agree a 1-year contract.
So why would you only want a player for 1 year? If they're getting old, perhaps?
Maybe, or you're waiting for someone to recover from an injury. You need cover in that position, or you've got a young player who they want to sit behind and learn for a year. There's a variety of different reasons why. Generally, the player in question fucking hates it.
Yeah, because I suppose they're losing a year's.
They still earn well for it, but
for 1 season.
It's for 1 season, and then they tend to cut. So I don't recall anyone ever being franchise tagged and then sign another contract with that team.
I was just going to say that those people who are franchise tagged, they usually go. I'm just trying to think of the person who had, I think, 2, maybe 3. No, they can't afford it on third one because you think you're going to be an average top 3 wage earner. Then next season, someone will pay someone big in that position, then use your restricted free agent tag will obviously go up again for that season, but you're only guaranteed 1 season's money. So if you get injured, that's going to be the end of your pay. So you'd rather go to another team and sign a 3-year deal. You should know you've got 3 years on your contract.
Can you use the franchise tag on the same player the next year?
Yeah.
Only twice, though. I think
it's only twice. Right, okay. So it's not like they could have kept Barkley for 10 years just by tagging him.
No.
Right.
And also, there's every chance the player will just not play for you.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to think. There was one player, who did go for a franchise tag for 3 years, but when I'm trying to think who it is, and on the 3rd year, it went up to upstairs in the front office and said, "We can't afford him if we franchise him, tag him again," because obviously it's a lot of money in it. But if you're in a main position there, so you're talking quarterback, and the average wage for a quarterback this season is probably 30 million. That's the average.
You've got Dak Prescott bumping it up 60 million, and you've obviously got Josh Johnson bringing it back down again at 80 quid.
So because of that, quarterback, obviously the average wage or the top wage is going to be far higher. Is it unusual to franchise tag a QB?
Yeah, generally you get them on a long-term deal.
Yeah. It's like Minnesota Vikings now be kicking themselves on having Sam Darnold for 1 year.
Well, he's the example I was going to bring up later.
Okay.
Why won't they franchise tag him?
That's where I was going with that, yeah. If they're trying to get McCarthy up and running.
Yeah.
They'll be in the same position they were at the start of this season, where they've got Darnold starting with McCarthy backing up and learning. And they'll still have to pay Darnold a fair whack to do that for a year, but it'll
And
only
it
be
will be.
1 year rather than 3.
I think that makes sense to me. But
Well, do you know something with their Edgy as well? It possibly could make sense. But then I don't know how much is on this season. About 13 to 15 million, I think, this season.
Darnold,
Darnold.
I
Yeah.
think he's on less than that.
Is he?
Yeah,
So
it's
next
proper.
season
Well,
he'll be on like
he was on the
30 odd.
scrap heap, wasn't he? Essentially.
Yeah.
I think
So he's
he'd be
going to go
happy
from.
with that.
Well, I don't know because it's not securing your longevity. So next season, Darnold signs. Well, he doesn't sign. He gets a tag, right? A franchise tag, and he gets paid then say 38 million a year. Great, fantastic. He's getting that 38, but he's shit, right? I mean, he goes back to the Darnold we know, right? Then it's a case of if he goes to another NFL team, that his wage comes straight back down to like 12 mil,
Yeah.
if that.
Yeah.
But at this moment in time, he could go to another team, sign a 3-year deal, averaging 35 million a year. So that's like 100 mil compared to getting like 38 mil for one season.
Yeah, at the moment he's like a 14 game winning quarterback, whereas next year he could be a 4-game winning quarterback.
Yeah,
he probably won't.
I'm really chuffed with Sam Darnold because he never had a fair crack at the Jets.
Well, he did. He had a crack at the Jets. It's just that he was at the Jets, and therefore, is that a fair crack for anyone?
Yeah.
No, that's true.
But the other thing is, next year, if that does happen, Darnold is back at the Vikings under a franchise tag. They start 6-1, something like that next year. Do the Vikings then go, you know what, Sam Darnold, he's 28, he's theoretically at his peak. Do they then offer him the big contract and just go, we aren't losing any money on McCarthy?
I can see something happening in that, guys, because like you said, they started 5-0 this year. Let's say they did the same again. Darnold,
he fits as well.
He does. Yeah,
there's no guarantee McCarthy's going to fit as well as Darnold has.
Imagine they bring in, another wide receiver, because at the moment he's just throwing to Jefferson. So he could. I don't know. I could see that being a really good.
Jefferson.
Hey.
Yeah, he's throwing just to Jefferson.
That seems to be what that.
Okay, here's another scenario. I know we've turned this into Vikings quarterback chat a bit early.
Yeah,
but
not?
Vikings offer Sam Darnold a big deal. So he's 28 for next season. So they could offer him like a long-term deal to be their quarterback. It'll be big money. They offer up McCarthy, who hasn't played and he's 22 years old and a top 10 draft pick or whatever we went. Will they get their first round pick back for on a trade from McCarthy?
Do you know something, G? That's a good point because he went. Where did he go? What number did he go? 24?
10 or 12, maybe. Something around that. He went early. He went before Bo Nix, I think.
Okay, so he's and that was in a quarterback heavy draft. Now, like I said earlier, the next draft is not quarterback heavy. Straight away, he'd be like a rookie at 22. He'd be the best quarterback. Should he have been in this year's draft upcoming? He'd have been the best quarterback by a long, long way. So, yeah, damn right, you get your first round pick back plus more.
Yeah. So, theoretically, say the Titans decide to give up on Will Levis. I mean, I don't think they will, but just say they did. They offer number 1 pick overall to the Vikings for JJ McCarthy.
Yeah.
That makes sense to me.
Yeah.
It might mean that the Vikings might send a conditional third or a fourth to it, but you still get a first round pick, no problem for him.
Yeah.
And you've got your quarterback for Darnold for at least 4 more seasons, should you want to.
Like I say, he's 28. He could be next 4 years or whatever. So
yeah.
Would Darnold take that scenario, do you think?
If you pay him.
Yeah. If they offered him that deal now, he'd sign there. He's happy to play for this Vikings team, isn't he?
Yeah.
So plus we've just actually go on.
No, I was going to say, plus Edgy, you've got to think as well with Darnold. At the moment, he's with a team that's clicking for him, that works for him. He could end up going to somewhere shit and he'll just have the Jets scenario all over again. So he's happy with the Vikings. He knows the system. He knows who plays. He knows the coaches. And he's played really well for them. So it'd be a bit silly thinking, yeah, I'll go to, let's think, Raiders. And yeah, I'm getting big money for 3 years, but everyone's just going to say it's Sam Darnold of old.
So we've just sorted out Minnesota and the
we've
Titans
sorted it
not
out by not agreeing on what's going to happen. That's what we've sorted out there.
That's
But
what
these things
happen,
could happen.
Yeah.
There you go.